Today I thought I'd share a short grounding flow with you for those times when maybe things are feeling a little out of control and you're feeling a little less than grounded or connected to your daily life. So let's start seated, letting your eyes softly close. Find that nice tall spine. Relax the shoulders and face and begin to slow and deepen the breath. Relax the body around the breath so that the belly can rise and fall effortlessly as you breathe. Releasing any unnecessary effort, straining. Taking the space of the next few breaths to begin to gather yourself here in your mat. Letting all the other stuff fall away, as if you were carving out sacred space for yourself for a while. As you feel yourself begin to settle in, take a moment to set an intention for your practice. What are you bringing to your mat? What do you wish to take from it? Honoring your why. When you find the intention that resonates with you, draw it into the cycle of your breath, inhaling, bringing it in, exhaling, feeling yourself let go of any resistance. Tension that rises and responds to your intention of being here. Each inhale an opportunity to invite the intention more firmly in, and each exhale an opportunity to examine what comes with it and decide if you want to let it go. When you feel ready with an inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead, let palms touch, and draw hands to heart center. Sealing in your intention, inviting it to move with you, be with you through your practice today. When you're ready, settling back into a seated position, we're going to take a moment to just let our fingertips touch the earth at either side of our bodies. Let your eyes close. Let your awareness sink down into all the points of contact that you have with your mat and the ground beneath you. Feel yourself gently pressing downward through your fingertips, your sits bones, the parts of your legs that touch the earth. With that gentle downward pressure, feel an opposing kind of upward pressure through the crown of the head. As you exhale, let your awareness sink back down towards your foundation. Feel connected, as if you were reaching little tendrils into the earth. As if you could reach past the tips of your fingers, past the sits bones and the sides of your legs, down into the earth. And that every bit that you reached down, the earth would rise to meet you. Stay in that shape for as long as feels beneficial to you. Keeping the idea of feeling rooted and grounded and aware of your foundation. When you feel ready to move, sweep the arms up overhead with an inhale. And then gently twist to the right, letting the hands float down again. Maybe they touch to the earth. Maybe the forward hand is on the thigh. Encourage the spine to stay tall. Find your twist. As you're ready with an inhale, releasing, reaching fingertips skyward once again, growing tall, rooting down. And then same twist other side. Twisting to the left, let the hands float down. Maybe they find the earth, maybe the forward hand is on the thigh or the knee. Let the breath still be slow and deep so the belly can still rise and fall. Let the shoulders stay relaxed and the face soft. Releasing with an inhale, reaching fingertips skyward. When you're ready with an exhale, just folding forward over the legs. Let your palms find the mat or the floor first. Lengthen through the spine. And then as you're ready, you can fold forward. You can surrender the spine. Use your hands or your forearms to support you. Keep the sits bones rooting down. Keep that connection to the earth. One more nice deep breath in and slow, steady exhale. And then with your next inhale, slowly make your way back up. We're going to bring hands behind us, unraveling the legs. Root down through the bottoms of the feet and then just press the heart forward and up. Shoulder blades might draw toward the spine a little. Press down into the floor through the bottoms of the feet and the sits bones, legs active. Come to a neutral spine with an inhale, and then just let the knees fall from side to side like windshield wipers. Generally exhale the knees to one side, inhale them through center, and exhale to the other. Find the pace that works for you and the depth of the movement. You could let the knees come all the way down to the floor to each side, or it can be a smaller, more compact movement. Settling into center when you're ready. Let the knees fall open to the side. Soles of the feet will come to touch for bound ankle. Pause here for a moment, let the eyes close and feel that same sense of engagement we had earlier, rooting down into the earth, through the sits bones, the sides of the feet, reaching up through the crown of the head. Draw the heart a little forward between the upper arms. Hands can rest on the ankles or feet, maybe the shins. Pause here, feel yourself reaching down into the earth rising to meet you. And maybe you stay just here in this shape. Imagine the knees moving away from each other rather than pressing down into the earth, creating space. If you'd like, with an exhale, you can start to hinge forward at the hips, bowing forward a bit, keeping the spine as elongated as possible. And then pause there once you find that point where folding forward anymore would require you to curve the spine. So again, you could still be upright. You can hinge forward at the hips and pause there. Or if you'd like to surrender fully forward with your next exhale, just fold forward over your legs, maybe supported by your hands or your forearms on the floor. Breathe. Whatever shape you choose. And remember, you can always go back and choose a previous shape if that felt better. Just breathe into that shape, feeling connected to the earth, and then rising up out of that foundation like a flower growing, reaching toward the sun, still deeply rooted. If you folded forward with an inhale, bring yourself slowly back up. And then guide the knees into center. We're going to transition to hands and knees on the mat from here. So if you would like to have a blanket under your knees or some sort of support underneath your knees, I just ask that it's knees, shins, all the way to the ankles so that the lower legs are fully supported. Coming to hands and knees, spread the fingers wide. Let the wrists be under the shoulders, knees under hips, lower legs extend straight back from the knees as best you can. Pause, close the eyes, and take in this new foundation here. Now you're touching and reaching into the earth through the palms and the knees and lower legs, tops of the feet. Feel that sense of rising up out of that foundation as you gently push the floor away through the hands and the lower legs, and lengthen through the spine, reaching forward through the crown of the head, back through the tail. And then start to move through cat and cow over your breath. As you exhale, arching into cat pose, like a Halloween cat. The tailbone will drop down toward the backs of the knees, the head will hang, shoulder blades might draw away from the spine. Transitioning to cow with your inhale, tailbone turns up, navel drops. Heart and gaze come a little forward. Just move with your breath. Maybe you find that you'd like to pause in cat and breathe into the back of the body a little. You might find this helpful if you hold tension in your low back at all. After a couple traditional cats and cows, feel free to bring in other movements if you like. Maybe a little side-to-side movement, lengthening through the sides of the waist, or some spiraling. You can add a little flow to cat and cow by arching into cat and sinking the hips back toward the heels. And then drawing the heart a little forward, bend elbows, pull slightly at the hands to press up into cow. Take the space of a few breaths here to find the movements that work for you. And just keep moving. Cat, cow, flow. A little angle here, a little angle there. Stay firmly rooted into the earth, and when you're ready, sink the hips back toward the heels, coming into child's pose. So the hips will sink back as far as is comfortable for you, upper body drapes. Fingertips reach forward, forehead touches the earth. Pause. Take a moment here, feel yourself bowed to your heart, bowed to the earth. Notice all the points of contact that you have there. Feel yourself steady, stable. Our flow today will start from child's pose. So as you're ready with an inhale, we're going to rise up to kneeling, lifting the hips off of the heels and sweep the arms up overhead. Engaging through the core, slowly float yourself back down to child's pose. With an inhale, bring yourself to cow. And as you exhale, downward dog, curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back. Pause for a breath here and downward dog. With your next inhale, sink the knees back down to the mat and come to cow once again. And as you exhale, sink the hips back. We're back at the beginning in child's pose. Continue to flow with your breath, inhaling, rising, sweeping the arms up. Exhaling, engaging through the core, slowly floating yourself back down to child's pose as slow and controlled as you can. An inhale will bring you to cow. And your exhale to downward dog. Pausing in downward dog for a breath, or as many as feel good. And then an inhale, sinking the knees and finding cow once again. Exhaling to child's pose. Rising to kneeling with your inhale. Bowing to child's pose with your exhale. Coming to cow with your inhale. And downward dog with your exhale. A breath and downward dog. And then cow with your next inhale. Child's pose as you exhale. Moving through this flow one more or two more times with your breath, inhaling, rising. Exhaling, making your way back to child's pose. As you inhale, come to cow, and exhale, come to downward dog. A breath in downward dog. And then with an inhale, sink the knees and come to cow. Exhaling, child's pose. One more time, rising to kneeling as you inhale. As you exhale, float to child's pose. Rise to cow with your inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Pause in downward dog for a breath. And with your next inhale, sink the knees to find cow. Exhale, ending in child's pose. Pause here in child's pose, reconnecting to your intention, your breath, your connection to the ground beneath you. With an inhale, lift the forehead slightly. Walk the hands toward the right side of the mat. We're going to invite length through the left side. You could reach out through the left fingertips. You could sink the hips back and a little up to the left. Moving with your breath, and as it feels good in your body, walk your hands through center to the other side, inviting length through the right side of the torso this time. You might reach out through the right fingertips or sink the hips a little off to the right. Back to center, back to child's pose. And maybe pausing here in child's prayer this time, bringing palms to touch. Bring a bend to the elbows so the fingertips point up toward the ceiling, or the thumbs rest on the back of the neck. Release your palms to the floor. And walk yourself slowly up to kneeling. Transitioning once again to seated on the mat. Extending the legs out in front of you this time. We're going to reach up through the fingertips into Dandasana, and then as you exhale, hinge slowly forward at the hips. Keep the spine elongated for as long as you can, and then let yourself curve and fold over your legs. Stay active, lengthening through the legs and the spine as you inhale, softening, folding as you exhale. With your inhale, use your hands to support yourself on the way up. And we're going to slowly roll down to our backs with an exhale. Shoulders and head touch down. You can reach your arms overhead, lengthen through the legs, and stretch from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes. And then maybe hug both knees into the chest, rocking, stillness, drawing circles. Whatever feels good. Eventually coming into stillness, keep the right knee drawn into the chest, extend the left leg long, bottom of the foot up toward the ceiling, and then slowly float that left heel down to the mat, leg extended long. You can rock the knee, the right knee, toward the midline and then out toward the underarm a little, or maybe even draw circles with the knee to explore into the hip joint a little if that feels good, or just stay in stillness with the knee hooked into the chest. From here, we'll find a twist. So coming into stillness, if you've chosen movement, bring the leg kind of neutral over the hip joint and then let the knee fall across the body. Right arm extends out at your side as kind of a counterbalance. Once you settle into the big shape of the twist, invite the shoulders to sink toward the mat. Let the belly still rise and fall. If you have any discomfort in your low back or hip, especially on that right leg, feel free to use the left hand to support the inside of the knee or the weight of the leg. You can also use a block for this. I like to support the whole lower leg. After a few breaths, when you're ready, bring the right knee back into center, hugging both knees into the chest. Again, stillness, rocking, or circles on the ceiling as feels best in your body at the moment. Eventually settling into stillness, keep the left knee drawn in this time. Extend the right leg long, bottom of the foot up toward the ceiling, and then slowly float the heel down to the mat. Once the right heel lands on the mat, you can start to work a little with the left leg, bringing the knee out toward the underarm and toward the midline a bit, or even drawing circles, exploring a little more deeply into the hip joint as you like, or releasing any tension that might be there. You can just stay in stillness, keeping the knee drawn into the chest. Eventually settling into stillness to find the twist. Bring the leg a little neutral over the hip before letting it guide it across the body. Left arm extends out to the side. Again, you can support that knee with your hand or with a block or some other prop on that side of the body. This is especially helpful if you have any low back or sacroiliac issues where you might feel a little pinching or tension. Give yourself permission to soften into the shape when you're ready. The belly can rise and fall, back to the shoulders relax, face is soft. After a few breaths here, when you feel ready, bring the knee back into center. And one more time, hug both knees into the chest. Again, movement or stillness, or maybe happy baby this time if you like it. The knees will be out a little wider, maybe about as wide as your underarms. The bottoms of the feet are up toward the ceiling for happy baby. Hands could come to the backs of the knees or maybe the outsides of the lower legs, outsides of the feet. And then here you can kind of rock side to side if that feels good. With Happy Baby, try to kind of let the low back sink down toward the mat. Sometimes we get rolled up into a ball in Happy Baby. See if you can soften that low back toward the mat. Whatever you've chosen, eventually draw the knees back in toward each other, hug the knees in, release the bottoms of the feet to the mat, and let the knees fall open to the sides for recline bound angle. Now if you have blocks handy, this is another great place for them. You can just place them there underneath the knees to give the leg a little bit of support, especially if you feel any pinching in the hip joint or your low back. And here, recline bound to angle, think softness. Invite the skin to soften away from the muscle to relax away from bone. Imagine the bones could sink down toward the earth. Imagine that the body could soften away from the midline as if you were kind of spreading outward. Take a moment here to make any final movements you'd like. You might stay there, recline bound angle, or maybe there's another twist or a hamstring stretch, maybe bridge pose. Eventually landing in Shavasana for final relaxation. Extending the legs long, letting the toes relax or turn outward as the legs relax. Arms maybe at your sides with the palms facing up or resting on your belly or heart and belly. I like to have a blanket under my head as a pillow, especially if I have my hair as a ponytail, so I can keep my head and neck fairly neutral. Find what helps you to feel comfortable. This is a good spot for a blanket over you. And then just allow yourself to relax. Invite your arms and legs to feel heavy as they sink toward the earth. Invite your belly to be soft and your heart wide open. Feel the shoulders and the throat soften. The jaw becomes a little sad. Invite the corners of the eyes to sink toward the back of the head as all the muscles of the face soften. Relax. Brow melts outward. Crown and ears sink toward the mat beneath you. As you invite your whole body to relax. As you feel yourself surrender to the pull of gravity, allowing yourself to be held by the earth. Each time you soften down, feel the earth rise to meet you, to hold you. To slowly draw your awareness back to the space. Maybe bringing small movements to the fingers and toes, maybe inviting the breath a little more deeply into the lungs. Taking all the time that you need. When you're ready, bending your knees and rolling onto your favorite side to continue the transition in fetal position. Maybe pausing here, thanking yourself for taking this time out for yourself and your practice today. And using your arms to support you as you rise up to a comfortable seat. Allowing your eyes to stay soft. fingertips on the earth to either side of your body. Take a few more breaths, feeling connected, rooted. Feel yourself reaching gently into the earth rising to meet you. Closing our time together with 3 cleansing breaths. Inhaling as you sweep the arms up. Exhaling with a sigh as you drop the hands. Reaching up. And sighing. Reaching. Releasing. Sweeping the arms up, this time palms come to touch. And hands draw to heart center as you exhale. Maybe the gaze follows. The light in me sees, appreciates, and bows to the light in me. Namaste.